What's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast episode, a super secret podcast episode, packed with conspiracies, packed with collaborations. This is the Friday the 13th special. I'm your host, Danny G. And
I'm
today I'm joined. God damn it, Kyle! I told you you're not supposed to talk before I say your name. Now I gotta restart this all over again.
Fuck.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Weekly D podcast. I'm your host, Danny G. Today we are joined by my good friend and host of Imma Need a Beer podcast. It's Kyle C.
What up, dude? I'm also, host of the Weekly D podcast too, so it's pretty cool.
Co-host. No. Get it right. Co-host.
Semantics.
All right. Well, today's a very special Friday the 13th collaboration episode with Imma Need a Beer podcast. And since we already got Kyle out the way, we're also joined by his good friend, his co-host, Mia Mac. Hi.
Y'all are so funny. I was cracking up.
I saw you.
Welcome back, Mia Mac.
Kyle,
Thank you. I know, it's been 10 years.
Literally decades.
Holy shit.
In Corona years, it's actually been 15 years, I think. Now that
I think so.
I think that's the math. But yeah.
Well, welcome back. It's good to have you back as the co-host again. The super secret bipartisan host, one of the people in charge of the production and producing. Good to have you back, Mia Mac.
Kentucky's changed you, man.
How'd you go from like a Trump impersonation to a completely Southern Forrest Gump-ish impersonation?
How do I put it? I'm an all-American man. That goes all for all of America.
Literally. All of the states, we got accents.
Oh, man. Well, I'm really excited today, guys, because it's the Friday the 13th special. Me and Kyle actually chose a theme for this week without actually choosing the theme. We just kind of wung it. But our theme today is secret societies. How do you guys feel about that? Are you excited?
Okay.
Happening, guys.
I'm so
I think
excited.
it stopped.
Oh, no, Kyle froze.
Sorry, my internet connection went out again. God damn it.
At least it didn't freeze on your old face today.
No, and that's true. I was kind of like, and my wife's like asleep and her alarm's going off and she is not.
Oh, I was about to say, I was getting a phone call.
Yeah, like somebody.
I may have to go in there really quick. You guys mind if I jump in? I don't know if we need to cut anything or not, but...
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Look, there's a magic button on here where I can press pause on the recording, and you're good.
Yeah. Let's pause that real quick.
All right.
I'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
All right. Audio's recording, video's recording. Cool.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle, for derailing the podcast in 5 minutes in. Not even 5 minutes in. We made it 3 minutes.
I've already fucked it up. This is my life.
But
it's
been
fine.
back for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. It's already ruined.
Welcome back, Mia. So to go off what Daniel was saying, we are doing a collaboration episode between Imma Need a Beer podcast and the Weekly D podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, guys, that means Imma Need a Beer podcast is coming back. Okay,
Yes,
coming
sir.
back in January. So me, Mia Mac, and Daniel will actually all be doing Imma Need a Beer podcast. So say hello to all of your hosts.
Hold on.
Both old and new. And congratulations to both of them.
Wow, that was rude of you, Kyle, calling her old.
Right.
Jeez, where's your manners,
immediately
dude?
shriveled. That is way to talk to a lady.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna not derail this podcast because I did promise you I was gonna be on my best behavior. I walled out the last 2 Weekly D podcasts, so I'm gonna be
They've
good.
been a blast.
Oh yeah. I had a blast. Got sloshed.
If you haven't seen those episodes, watch them.
Yeah, please do.
Anyways, yeah. So what we're going to do is the same format that we've done on Imma Need a Beer and the Weekly D in the past. So it's going to be story.
Story
another story.
based. Mm-hmm.
Both of us are going to be sharing stories. This time, we're doing conspiracies.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh shit, I was supposed to play the sound effect. Oh no, I'm slacking as a producer.
You done fucked up, Daniel.
I done fucked up. Man, this whole podcast is already a shit show.
That's why it's a bonus episode, right?
Yeah, it's gonna go raw, unedited. Well, I might cut out the part that you derailed it instantly.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That was just.
That's all right.
Anyways.
You know, this really feels like Friday the 13th episode, though. Because
Yeah.
my notes disappeared before we started. Your internet keeps cutting out. Our Zoom meeting got cut off because we haven't paid. It's like everything that could have gone bad went bad already.
So I just think it's a bunch of
I'm
shitty
here.
circumstances.
The worst.
Yeah. Next thing you know, we're just all gonna start dropping out one by one.
Oh my god.
Be a
That-
ghost face.
First. I think me.
You think you? I think Kyle.
Volunteers tribute.
Kyle has a worse internet connection. He'd be the first one to drop out.
I really do though. It always goes out. I have no idea why. Like I pay good enough money for this. Like honestly, I pay good enough money. I technically have business internet. Okay, AT&T signed me up for business internet. But that's a story for another day.
The stats on the internet. No,
Fuck
I
you,
believe it because
AT&T.
I technically have fiber, but my connection drops all the time,
Really?
like all the time. I'm convinced this might be actually a conspiracy theory. I don't think fiber exists. I think everybody is just like. I think everyone is just a bunch of tech blowhards that are literally all just like, oh yeah, the internet is so good, but it's just regular internet. But that's just me.
It's like
have you ever
5G.
I'm trying to start a new. What?
It's like 5G where they tell us it's a lot better, but it's just a number. It doesn't
Actually
actually
giving us
exist.
coronavirus.
The technology doesn't
Yeah.
work yet.
Yeah, no, like nobody has like 5, or like if you have, like one of my friends, she has 5G, but anytime she has 5G on her phone works slower, and she like doesn't get text messages, and I'm like, she has an iPhone 6 though, so like that might be, but that might be it. But
Maybe.
yeah, I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand technology. That's probably what it is, but still, like.
I mean, it's the equivalent to people that like get paid to do IT work and legitimately like all they do is turn computers on and off via the power cord.
Right. Did you
And
reset
that's
it?
literally the equivalent to IT work. All right.
So literally though.
Did you turn it off and on?
Oh, those are my
motherfucker,
favorite.
I turn it off and on. I know what it is.
You know, that's my favorite thing to do with upset customers where I work because I'm a mechanic, right? I always ask them for like to be a smart ass if they're upset. I'm like, did you try turning it off and then on? I get super pissed.
You love to see it.
Oh man, I'm a horrible employee. I'm not gonna lie.
I was gonna say, I was like, I think Kyle's IT guy has just been trolling him this whole time.
Right?
Yeah,
What-
and
what-
my IT people, if you're listening, I do love you guys, but
But come on now. All right, I got
But I
business.
turned it on and off.
Yeah, I got business internet in Needville, which is pretty impressive because it works well.
What is business internet? What is this? I didn't even get offered business internet.
It's
And I
like twice the
feel
cost
like
of
I'm FOMOing.
yeah, it's twice the cost of normal internet, and the only thing you can do is add like 2 more devices at once. It's really
Yeah.
not worth it. But
no,
since
it honestly kind of sucks. Like they're like, oh, you have this business internet for $50 a month.
That's probably why I didn't see it, because I just looked at the cheapest one and I was like, cool. This will
I mean,
do.
if it does the job,
That'll
fuck
work.
shit. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna complain.
yep.
Anyways, fuck you,
My
AT&T.
YouTube video. Anyways, hate you, AT&T, go die.
Not sponsored.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, not sponsored. I got that good old
They
Xfinity.
declined
Please
to
sponsor.
this episode.
Yeah, if we ever thought about getting AT&T sponsorship, that ain't happening. Sorry about that, Danny.
Yeah, you just ruined that one for us. Thank you, Kyle.
Anyways, I guess we can kind of get started in these stories. So, you wanted Meteor first, correct?
Yeah. You seem
Okay,
more
cool.
prepared than I do, so just in case I bomb, I go after.
Don't worry, my guy. I have a story for you. And so this conspiracy, as we're going to go into it, actually is a secret society that some of you may have heard of, some of you may not have heard of it. It's known as Bohemian Grove.
Ooh.
So I'm going to start it off with a quote that they use specifically. And then I'll explain the quote later, but I'm not going to explain it right now. Weaving spiders, come not here. So, just to put it in perspective, Bohemian Grove is a restricted 2,700 acre private campground in the U.S. It's actually run. Yeah, so it's a private.
Is that the one that Alex Jones broke into?
Yes.
We're gonna get into
Yes.
that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes.
I didn't mean
No, you're
to
good.
skip ahead.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. But yes. So basically, the location's actually owned by a gentleman's club located in San Francisco, and the club's known as the Bohemian Club. And there actually is a club there known as the Bohemian Club. So it's interesting. Actually, every July, some of the richest and most powerful people in the world, which includes musicians, actors, affluent businessmen, as well as former presidents, are a part of this Bohemian Club. And every July, they come out to the Redwood Forest to this campground of Bohemian Grove, and things tend to happen there. So they come together for 2 weeks. Basically, the thought process is they party nonstop, they drink, they get crazy, conduct secret deals, conversations, and a multitude of interesting rituals, which we're going to get into some of those rituals, which, at this point, some people might be like, oh, this isn't a conspiracy theory. We know it exists. But no, look, it's not what you think it is. Or is it? That's a conspiracy. Anyways, so it's basically like the equivalent, if you guys want to think about it, a bunch of old people partying together. It's the equivalent of like a fraternity party, but for like old fogies.
Isn't that what all cults are? They're just big old frats. Really?
I mean, kind of. Except for like Heaven's Gate. I feel like they're very like religious based, where they're kind of like, yeah, we're gonna go and see, aliens and shit, and we're gonna bring you up there, but you got to drink this Kool-Aid first, and that's how you'll ascend.
You gotta have the special Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah.
No, I would drink the Kool-Aid.
So the thought process.
I spent my whole life thinking that I wouldn't, but I think I would.
I would definitely drink the Kool-Aid. If they told me I was gonna see aliens, I'd be like, okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Like all your friends are there. Like I'd be like, okay,
Right?
cool, dope. Is it cherry or purple?
It's like even if you die, you and all your buddies get to go to like heaven or hell. I don't know. Maybe y'all go to the same place and it'll be a big old party. It'll be like a high school reunion.
Plus, they give you a nice pair of like fucking Cortez's black Cortez shoes. Like, I mean, how am I gonna say no to a pair of black Nikes?
Oh, that would be hilarious, man. You get to hell and they're like, "What's up, fool?"
That whole time, didn't you hear, fool? Did you go to the party? Did you bring anything? God damn it!
And then you got the one guy. He's like, "You drank the Kool-Aid, didn't you?"
Ah, stupid idiot!
You dumbass.
Anyways,
It's the guy at the door, and he's just like, "You drink the Kool-Aid, okay?"
come on in, man. It's a party here. We only have Natty Light and Keystone though, so sorry.
Oh, dude, that's a bet, bro. You drink forever and never get drunk. That's
well, it's warm, so and you never get drunk.
Oh shit! Talking about beer, I just remembered this episode's sponsored by a beer company.
Oh, what's it sponsored by? And then we can jump back into the story.
Okay. Perfect break for a ad. Since we're talking about beer, let me tell y'all guys about the greatest brewery in Texas. It's called Southern Star Brewing Company, located at 3525 North Fraser Street in Conroe, Texas. They literally make the best beers ever, and today their one specific beer, Conspiracy IPA, is gonna sponsor this podcast. The Conspiracy IPA is a West Coast IPA with a hint of pie crust and some caramel at the end. It is a super delicious beer. If y'all never had it, I highly recommend it. Like I recommend every Southern Star beer because Southern Star is the greatest beer company in Texas. They were also the first beer company in Texas to can their beer. So again, Southern Star, go check them out. They're located at 3525 North Fraser Street. You can find their beer at your local HEB, Specs, Kroger, Total Wine and More, etc., etc. They're just delicious fucking beer. They're all over Texas. I highly recommend it. And I had one more thing to say, but I forgot. Oh yeah, Southern Star, beer for beer people. Boom. I had read.
That was a beautiful ad read.
I did that off the head, man. I'm getting better at these, doing them just straight off the head without reading something.
I think it was nice. And by the way, Mia,
It was sick.
we're sponsored now. We're pretty cool.
Ooh.
I mean, we're not.
Brag.
Not sponsored. Maybe one day.
Well, when I go back up there, dude, I'm gonna throw in a bone for y'all.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the story. So, okay, Bohemian Grove. So, okay, we're talking about a secret club. So it's a secret club, right? Like the thought process for most people, like, well, how do I get in, right? Like, how do I become a member of the Bohemian Club? How do I become a member? Well, so first of all, you got to be invited. by like not just one person, but like multiple people within the club and organization. And on top of that, then you got to pay $25K according to Vanity Fair. You have to pay $25K in dues. And then eventually still pay $5K every year in dues. So it's $25K initiation fee followed by $5K every year in dues.
That's it.
So yeah. So if you're
I feel like that is low for like an ex-president secret society club. Like
yeah, but for your
like I
boy
bet
who's
Jeff
just starting a
Bezos has it.
podcast, like pretty fucking expensive. You know, like we
I
gotta
mean,
make
it's not
ends meet.
relatable to me. I can't even afford a down payment for like $2,500, let alone
Right.
just a club for funsies.
I can't even
So it
afford
is
the new
interesting, though.
iPhone.
Yeah, me same. Honestly, holding out.
Renting forever. But
I'm gonna lease that shit.
no, that's
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna be like an ex-president club, like I feel like you could charge more. You
Yeah.
could get more out of these people.
I would
That's all
agree.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It
Definitely
is
agree.
pretty cheap for what the clientele is. So I guess that's for a reason. But you know, good
Is this
news.
like $1970 or something? Like, what's that?
It's the same. Like it's still going on. Apparently, allegedly, you know, quote unquote, allegedly, and it's still the same amount of dues. I just don't think it's changed.
Cool.
Now I'm
They gotta
assuming
account for inflation.
people like Mark Twain, for instance, who's actually a member of the Bohemian Club, probably did not pay $25K. I mean, if he did, that's a lot of fucking money. He got gypped.
I wonder if you can get sponsors
He
for
got
it.
that Huckleberry Finn money.
All that Huckleberry Finn money.
I wonder if you can be sponsored to join the club.
The Mark Twain program.
No.
Oh, a sponsorship.
Yeah,
Oh,
for the Bohemian Club. Like maybe you can get someone to
is there
sponsor
an
you to go
email?
in. Yeah,
Also sponsored by Huckleberry Finn, aka Huckleberry Fun.
I would go up there and be like, "Can I speak to the manager?"
So it's funny though.
Hello, sir. I have a business inquiry.
I have a business inquiry. I would like to join the Bohemian Club. I do not have $25,000, but what I do have is a particular set of skills that would allow me to drink massive amounts of alcohol. Can I come in?
I'd go up to him with my 2-liter glass boot, fill it up with beer, and be like, "You want to see a magic trick?" Chug the DOS boot, be like, "Okay, am I in?"
George W. just like, oh man, I just see what you did there.
The
Hey,
W,
Dude,
You tried out of my
I bet he would be down. He would party.
bro.
would be down.
Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting that. I just
No, you're good. This wasn't an interruption. I love this. This is good. So, okay. So, you can actually also, fun fact, speaking of invitations, you can actually also be invited to Bohemian Grove as a non-member. So, if somebody's like, oh man, like, you know, for instance, like, I love, you know, Luke Combs right now, hypothetically speaking. Let's say I love Luke Combs, I'm part of Bohemian Club, and I want Luke Combs to perform at, like, the Bohemian Club, or I want him to just see what we're about. Because once he makes the money, and if he's willing to do it, he can join us and maybe become a brother of us next year. So he can invite him out to like try it out and see what it's like and kind of experience things and go party with his boys. But it's funny, it is a men's only club. So sorry, ladies.
I was
AK,
gonna
sorry.
ask, are there any lady brothers?
No. So basically, what happens? So it is a fraternal situation. Women and children are invited out there, but they have to be out by 10 p.m. So for certain events and
Like a
picnics, they can go
weirdly
out to Bohemian
suspicious
Grove.
day.
wow,
Yeah, they have to be out by 10 p.m.
that's weird.
It's boys only. Sorry, guys.
That's
Sorry,
when
ladies.
the boys play.
I wonder if that's where
So-
Fridays is for the boys started.
Friday and Saturdays are for the boys.
It would make sense. Think about it.
It makes sense. It doesn't. You know what? You know what? That's probably where it started. Saturdays are for the men to do other things to men,
Whoa.
but we're not gay. That's literally what they do. Like that's. We'll get into that. So it's like, hey, we're gonna do gay things, but we're not gay.
That's
Wait,
like,
really?
That's
We'll
like
get into that.
What movie is it?
Nixon?
Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen it.
Where Big Bob comes out, they're in the prison, and Big Bob comes out. He's like, "You want a cock meat sandwich?" And they're like, "Oh no, that's gay, dude." And he goes, "That's not gay. You're the gay ones for sucking my dick."
Prison rules, baby. Prison.
Oh my god.
That's what Bohemian Club is all about now. You got a bunch of Big Bobs.
But yeah, so weaving spiders come not here. What does it mean? So basically, it means like leave any business you have outside of the Grove. So if you have issues with another politician, if you want to try to make it a serious network meeting, sorry, motherfucker, it's not going to happen. Like, it's supposed to be a time for you to relax, you to enjoy your time and get away. However, there have been exceptions that are actually noted in real fact as fact. So the actual Manhattan Project was planned and discussed at Bohemian Grove during the July celebration, which led to the creation of the atom bomb. That's a fun fact.
So that's
so
actually
if
pretty
there was no
interesting.
Bohemian Grove, the atom bomb might have came a little later.
Could
So-
you just imagine that like party and just like two wasted scientists being like, bro, but what if we could like pull up like everything? And like the other guy's like, everything? He's like,
Everything.
Sounds lit.
That sounds exactly
I
how.
think that's exactly what happened.
That's how I picture
Okay.
politics all the time. It
It's
just
like they bro out, but like as soon as the cameras are off. That's my thought too. That's what I figure it is. I just feel like they all bro out. Like even like Republicans and Democrats are just like, oh shit, bro, that was rough. Did you see that debate? I mean, like I literally feel like Joe Biden and Trump like secretly probably are like, good fucking debate, bro. I
Right.
think you showed him. No, Mr. Trump. I think you did a great job. No, Biden. You did marvelous.
And then
Amazing job.
Biden's gonna be like, "Come on, man."
Come on, man. And then they shotgun beers together.
Bro.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
So anyways,
That's exactly how I picture politics, man.
that's how I
Maybe
want
a
to.
better
Like after
way.
the debate, you just see both of them in the back just. Oh man.
Chugging brews.
Smoking cigarettes, chugging brews.
Using the gravity bomb to get a little bit politically higher. Let's get in some politically high power here.
There we go.
I'm gonna light that shit up. Anyways, so some of the sketchy shit that comes with Bohemian Grove. So I know what you're all here for. Like, Kyle, like, why is this a conspiracy theory? Like, we know it exists. We know it's like a real place in the woods you can go to. Well, you can't go to. It's private. Like, you'll get kicked out for trespassing and or killed. So don't go there. So
Unless
I'm
you're
gonna tell
Alex
you,
Jones.
like a lot of it has to do with like some of the controversy that comes with like the rituals that they do. And the first ritual, and one of the biggest rituals I'm going to talk about, is the cremation of care. So the cremation of care is an annual ritual in a small artificial lake in the Grove. So like in this, think about the Grove, like a bunch of redwood trees and like this artificial lake that was made inside. It involves a group in hooded robes, dark hooded robes at that, basically taking a boat out to the middle of the lake containing an effigy, or like a basically fake version of a character known as Care. Basically, it's taken to an altar surrounded by these hooded figures, and eventually it gets set on fire after the ceremony and during the ceremony. Apparently, it's supposed to be a symbol of like clearing your mind of anxiety, anguish, frustration, and care in the world. So care, a long time ago, derives from a different version of the word care, which is said the same but spelled differently. And it's actually, believe it or not, has negative connotations associated with it. So that's what they use, and when they say, cremation of care, that's what they mean by it. It's used more as a negative connotation.
Okay.
The ceremony takes place in front of a giant owl shrine, which is really weird and wild.
Do they make their own shrines? Like
It's literally carved out of like rock. I mean, it's in there. So a recording
that's where their
is used.
$25,000 dues go to.
Yeah.
So the maintenance of the owl.
It's funny because this owl shrine actually, it's a voice within the ceremony, so it actually is supposed to speak during the ceremony. A lot of this is, people also claim that like Bohemian Grove's a big place for theater and artists, so like the big presidents to go and see a lot of theater. So that's what they play it as. They're like, no, it exists, but it's a big play, like it's a big play, a big ceremony. So that's what they say. So basically, it's funny, a recording is used to voice the owl, but fun fact, for years it was Walter Cronkite who voiced it, allegedly.
Who?
Damn. He would make an amazing owl.
Yeah, Walter Cronkite. He's an older actor.
No, I think he's a broadcaster.
Is he?
Was he?
Newsman.
See,
Like Dan Rabbit.
I think you're right,
but
actually.
older.
I think you're right.
I have no idea.
We'll need to look it up. We don't fact check here. Sorry, guys. We're gonna look it up.
Secret conspiracy theories. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory. Everything is not fact checked.
Yeah, no, you
We're
can't
going on
fact check
brand.
conspiracy theory.
So we're going to
Against
get
the
into
rules.
exactly what Mia was talking about earlier, which is the Alex Jones controversy, which is the next piece. So to be completely honest and upfront with you guys, like the main reason people know about Bohemian Grove is because of everyone's special little pal, Alex Jones. Some know him as a right-wing conspiracist now, but back in the day, he was just a regular crazy conspiracist. And actually, it's funny.
I'm nonpartisan conspiracy theory.
I did put in quote like parentheses like yes, the water supply is gonna make the frogs gay. Conspiracy theorist.
You know that part of that is true too, right?
It
Yeah,
does actually make the frogs gay.
or they're asexual.
Yeah, it turns them like, I think it's asexual, and it turns like the male frogs into lady frogs, so they can't switch back and forth anymore. But like his shit is like partially like there's like a grain of truth, and then he just goes like crazy, and he's like,
Yeah, he's been
Well,
right.
that's
He's been right about a lot of conspiracies, partially.
He actually has been right about a lot of conspiracies. People shit on him. Okay,
I mean, just look at
fairly,
the
Sandy
Pizzagate
Hook.
thing.
Yeah, the Sandy Hook thing was pretty out there too. Like that whole thing, which he did apologize for. To be fair,
Yeah.
he did go up on multiple podcasts. He was on Impulsive. He was also on Joe Rogan, and has apologized multiple times for that.
Yeah, same.
But
he was right about Jeffrey Epstein and all them.
He was talking about Epstein like years ago.
And
Fun
the Bohemian Grove.
And the Bohemian Grove, yeah. Speaking of Bohemian Grove, so the reason people know about him is Alex Jones actually snuck into Bohemian Grove in the year 2000. He went with his cameraman, and they infiltrated the actual scene. And for some reason, they were left to stay. Apparently, they don't have the numbers tied, so whoever shows up, shows up. So they were like, oh, Alex Jones, no big deal, I guess. So he saw it was basically a big party, and to paraphrase him, it was basically one big giant gay orgy for the wealthy. As a place for those, and it was like a place for those empowered to like give in their darkest desires, full of like sex, drugs, and debauchery. So a very different picture from what they say, but this is what Alex Jones is saying. That basically there was like a lot of politicians in bed with each other. When they say in bed with each other, they mean literally. Like,
oh no.
yeah.
I mean, you know.
No wonder you were making that
I
Trump
don't have
Biden
any.
reference.
I mean,
You sick bastard.
Yeah. You know, did you get what I was saying when I said in bed with each other? I mean, literally.
Yeah. Then I thought about the Biden and Trump reference you just made earlier.
They're so old.
45th and 46th. I'm about to make the 47th.
Together, you know what that equals, right? 69.
Oh my
It doesn't,
god,
but
dude.
you know, it doesn't, but you know what I mean, Mr. Trump.
See, this is a perfect collaboration between I Don't Need a Beer podcast and Weekly D.
I knew we were gonna derail this at some point, but it was beautiful.
Oh my
Anyways.
god. I can't take that picture out of my mind.
I'm sorry for that. I apologize.
I don't feel safe anymore.
And then I was saying after the debates are probably just sitting back there smoking cigarettes. That was just making a whole scene in my mind. Oh my god.
Well, if we see anybody on SNL or anybody like make like a quick skit about it, then we know where they got it from.
We need the credit, yeah. Oh
we gonna
god.
need that money.
I hope Biden doesn't say, "Come on, man," while Trump's rearranging his
Oh
guts.
god.
I'm sick to my stomach.
I quit.
quit.
I'm leaving.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let's get back on topic, boys and girls.
And lady boy. Wait. That's
Whoa.
Anyways, so Alex Jones had all of this stuff in his head way before Bohemian Grove was a thing. He thought like it actually like the people like the owl, for instance, wasn't like just a prop for like a meeting. He actually thought it was like a canite, I believe. I think it's what's called Canaanite. Yeah, Canaanite deity known as Moloch. So Moloch is like the equivalent to like a demon, but he's like a demon who sacrifices children. And he's associated with child sacrifice. So side note, the effigy of Care actually, from Alex Jones' perspective, was very small in stature, and it was like a effigy of like a human. So he thought when he saw it, it was like an effigy of a child. So that made him super like, in his mind, it was like, oh yeah, no, that ties in. So, fun fact.
Wait, is the Bohemian Grove part of Pizzagate?
Not that I know of.
Because you just said the owl is an effigy of what? Something with children?
It's a Canaanite god, basically a deity known as Moloch.
Mm-hmm.
And so Moloch is known, like, associated regularly with child sacrifice within this religion.
Okay, and was Jeffrey
It's like
Epstein
Satanistic kind of like religion?
part of? Hold on. Oh my! I've been reading too much into conspiracy theories. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, you're good. Okay. No, so he was actually concerned that they were actually doing real child sacrifices, which is why he went. He wanted to expose them, and if they were actually doing real child sacrifice and real sacrifice in general, like cut that shit, like kind of thing, and like he'd have them.
It's like the Pizzagate guy who like went there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Jeffrey Epstein. Like,
So
is the Bohemian Grove tied to Pizzagate? Because
yeah,
I mean,
very well.
politicians, Pizzagate, children sacrifice. I mean,
it definitely could be, but from
I
what
almost wonder.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I almost wonder, like, people like started finding out about this place, and I wonder if that's like, oh, then like they move it to like Jeffrey Epstein's island or whatever. Like,
yeah,
could be. I mean, because allegedly it stopped in 2008, and we'll get into that. But this is all by Vanity Fair. But did it really stop, or did it just move?
What if they knew Alex Jones was coming, so they played it off as something else?
Maybe.
But in
they just
reality,
like got a guitar and they were playing Kumbaya and
Yeah.
like killing
basically
kids.
just drinking,
Smoking
having
weed.
a blast. Like, and they're like, they're never gonna believe this guy. So we could show them some of it. We can't show them all of it,
Bro.
like, because if they gets that stuff on video for some reason and we don't know,
Mhm.
like that could ruin us. But we can give them at least a little bit. So there actually is video. That maybe we can show clips of on the I'm Gonna Need a Beer like Instagram and the Weekly D Podcast Instagram as well as Twitter, and kind of show some of the videos of what Alex Jones found, as well as some pictures to go along with it, because this shit, I'm not joking with you, is fucking wild. Like it's weird and it's kind of just crazy looking, to be honest.
Interesting.
But yeah, so it's funny. So that's basically the Alex Jones controversy, and he's basically said like, no, this place is sketchy. That's what they do there. He's like, that's what they do there. So that's what he's like. That's what I believe. But like you said, Mia, Alex Jones is, some of it's true, but it's sprinkled with like a grain of untruth a lot of the time. Like he has half of it right, but then he ends up like going into some crazy conspiracy like route and goes even and then just goes completely nuts. So that's why he's an entertainer. And should only be taken
little red-faced man.
and should only be taken halfway seriously when he discusses some of this stuff. Halfway. So you can at least look into him when he's talking about him.
You know,
But maybe not go too far deep.
I wish that I had as much passion for anything as Alex Jones has for everything.
You want to punch me in the face? You want to punch me in the face? Just gonna punch me in the face. It's gonna feel great. No, it's fine. I'm giving you permission. Literally Alex Jones.
Have y'all-
Red face the whole time, like shouting at the top of his lungs, and I'm like, I have never done that in my entire life about anything. Like things I'm super passionate about, I'm like, I can speak at a normal volume and still be like, you know.
Well, you know what they say about full volume, right? Like, it's actually a method for politicians to hear even clearer. Like, shit like that. I did not do a good Alex Jones impression.
Imagine how.
Yeah, you need to be angrier.
Yeah, you gotta be pissed.
Yeah, you know the water supply definitely is gonna make the frogs gay.
There we go. You nailed it there. That's all you need to do.
Definitely busted the fucking eardrums of the viewers. Sorry, guys. So, to let you guys know, so Alex Jones did do that, but other people have also ventured in Bohemian Grove, and they've also had like kind of mixed results in a way in terms of like what they found. So the first one is a man named Philip Weiss. He was a journalist, and he snuck into the Grove in '87, and basically he said all he did was drink and pee on trees. So that was like legitimately when they say frat party.
A noble pursuit.
Yeah, he said so. So basically, all they were doing is they were getting drunk as fuck and just peeing all the redwoods. But in 2008, a man who worked for Vanity Fair named Alex Shamatov was actually detained for trespassing after he was trying to uncover an illegal logging venture. for Vanity Fair.
I was gonna say because like redwoods are super endangered. Yeah.
But people, there was talks that they have been like logging them, and what you're logging them for isn't worth the money they're actually like it's worth like a certain amount of money, but it's not anything that like would be worth getting rid of these trees because they're only in one part of the world. Like, and it's a very small plot of them. So that's why he went in and thought that that's what was happening. Turns out wasn't really right. At least from what we could see, he was caught trespassing and actually sent out before he found out what was going on. So there's a chance. And from what Vanity Fair said, that's when it stopped. So they say like Bohemian Grove doesn't happen anymore. But from what I've heard, it still goes on, kind of low key. Now I don't know if it goes on actually at the Bohemian Grove, but I do know the Bohemian Club is still out there doing things and being involved. They might have just moved their location just because it got too
hot. Yeah.
There actually are people every single year who attend Bohemian Grove like right outside the gates and protest due to the belief that the secret talks they're having should be public. Like some of the conversations, for instance, like the Manhattan Project, maybe it should be a public venture to kind of discuss like, hey, this is what we're working on. Like, but that's what people do. They feel like the people should know what's going on, which to a point I agree with. But to be fair, in 1942, if Americans found out that they were planning to use a giant bomb to win the war, they might not have all been for it, which could have potentially led to the loss of the war.
That and they would have ruined the surprise.
Yeah, they would have ruined the surprise.
I thought that they didn't need the bomb to end the war.
No, they didn't.
Like they said that they did, but then like it would have like because like the Japanese would have starved to death in like 2 months anyway.
They were saying the Japanese were going to concede, but then they had stated that I think it was like a general was like, "Nah, we ain't doing it." But the majority of like the people were like, "No, we shouldn't do that." And then they of course hit Hiroshima and Nagasaki as like a big like basically an equal to a big fuck you. It's like you're gonna take this loss.
It was a power move.
Thing. It was a power move, 100%, a political power move. Fucked up, shouldn't have happened, but it did. But to go like so the people did think like secret talks probably should be for the public as well. Maybe it shouldn't be so secret. There are people who actually believe in the ritual for it too, like because of Alex Jones and things like that. So they do their own ritual outside, known as the resurrection of care, which is supposed to basically cancel out the cremation of care. So it's supposed to like do that.
That's kind of dope.
That's basically like majority of it. But I did want to give you some notable members of the Bohemian Club who do actually own this. Also, and Nixon did say, when it comes to the Alex Jones part of it, Nixon did say it in his quote, in his words, so I mean no offense when I say this, it was the most faggy thing he'd ever been to and seen. So that's how he explained it. There actually is a clip of him saying that. He said, it's the most faggy thing I've ever been to.
Wow.
So like, that's not you saying that. That is.
No, it's not me saying that. That is Richard Nixon saying that. Which Richard Nixon is he America's sweetheart?
Makes me like Richard Nixon.
Why?
Weird.
Bro, he's
a strange dude, man. I mean, he's also
Futurama's.
He's a Futurama president, so I'm here for it. Richard Nixon.
He grew up in Yorba Linda, California.
Interesting.
I've been to his house.
And they're actually, really? You've been to his house?
Where he grew up, yeah. That's a museum, the Richard Nixon Library. They have the limo he used to ride around in. He's actually buried on that property in Yorba Linda, California.
Interesting.
And they have his original house where he grew up in. It's literally maybe the size of my room with an attic. Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Like Richard Nixon, we can talk about the Watergate scandal on another episode, but Watergate.
Please bring me in for that one. I did so much research on Watergate when I couldn't decide what conspiracy to do.
Yeah, I I don't think we ever covered Watergate with I'm in Need a Beer. I'm pretty sure we never did. I don't think we touched it because it was just a lot. But yeah, definitely we'll bring you in for that one. But I mean, honestly, Nixon was just the one that got caught. Like I really don't think Nixon's any different than any of the other presidents. I just think he unfortunately was the one who got caught and caught the brunt of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're all kind of corrupt in their own way, except for Jimmy Carter. Our little peanut farmer.
A peanut farmer?
We love Jimmy Carter here.
He was probably the most corrupt one out of all of them, dude. He just used the peanut farmer as a cover.
Just a poor little peanut farmer, Mr. Jimmy Carter. But Jimmy Carter.
He's actually done the worst war crimes. He's just like
behind this meek little man. He just like zips down his suit and it's just like this evil ass guy. Like
He's just a
fucking
giant
lizard person.
He's a fucking mole person. No, but it's funny because there's a documentary coming out about not Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter's still alive, by the way. Fun fact. I'm gonna say fun fact a lot in this episode because there are a little fun facts. Yeah, he's still alive, still pretty healthy. He's actually in the documentary. But the documentary goes over.
Doesn't he have like cancer or something? He's gonna die soon.
As far as I know,
How old
he
is
might.
he?
Yeah, that would ruin 2020 again for me. But I've already been 2020.
That didn't happen. I didn't tell you anything about Jimmy Carter.
I swear to God, if Jimmy Carter dies like in the next week, I'm gonna be so mad.
He actually told a story because the actual like, it's interesting because I didn't know this, but Jimmy Carter actually has invited some of the most prominent musicians during his time. Like he was the rocker president. He was the president that would invite invited like the Beatles. He would invite like all the rockers out there. He actually had there's a story about he's telling about his son and Willie Nelson smoking weed on the White House roof.
Yes. That's what I'm for.
Yeah.
That's what Beto O'Rourke aspired to be, but could never pull it off.
Yeah. I think he just got too radical for himself.
Yeah.
Kind of screwed himself up.
Bro, imagine how cool that must have been. Getting high with Willie Nelson on the roof of the White House.
You can't make that shit up. Like, you can't. Like, Willie Nelson's also smoked with some of the prominent stoners of all time.
Yeah.
I think he just smokes with everyone, and he just happens to like. I bet you like Willie Nelson would smoke with like some random guy he like met on the street, and it would like I just feel like he just happens to smoke with everyone, so he's just gonna smoke with like the most famous people of all time.
It's because what he wants to do. So he's like, all right, I'll smoke you out. I got a lot of money. So,
yeah.
But
I just in my mind, I'm like, Willie Nelson is a folk hero, and he would smoke with a poor man just as much as he would with a rich man. And
I agree.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although some would say in the old folk songs, I'll never smoke weed with Willie again.
Have you ever heard of the story behind that song? It's so funny.
Really?
Yeah, apparently Toby Keith had like this huge birthday concert to do. Oh, no. It was his birthday, and he had a concert the next day he had to do, or that night. And because it was his birthday and he was on tour with Willie Nelson, Willie invited him into his trailer to play cards and smoke weed. And apparently Toby Keith got so high, he started having a panic attack on the bus. So they kicked him off the bus, and apparently he was on his bus, balled up in fetal position, crying, not knowing what to do because he was so high. Completely missed the concert and missed like all the interviews he had the next day. Yeah. And then he wrote that song.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's a fun fact. So I do want to mention some of the notable members of the Bohemian Club. So apparently George H.W. Bush and son George W. Bush, Richard Nixon, Dick Cheney, Calvin Coolidge, Walter Cronkite, as we've talked about him, Bing Crosby, Clint Eastwood, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, Theodore Roosevelt, Mark Twain. There's also more, like a lot more.
That's so cool.
But those are some of the ones that like really stuck out to me, and I think most people like within our age group and up would probably know who those people are. Down, I don't know.
Tell me why my dumbass, when I heard you say Dwight, I was like, Schrute?
Dwight Schrute. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
Dwight Schrute and Cousin Mo.
They'd be the perfect people for that. They could be the groundskeepers.
He would literally try to take over.
Running across the thing, like trying to set up the like ritual.
Bro, that'd be such a power move though if Dwight Schrute was like the assistant to the assistant manager at Bohemian Grove.
Assistant to the assistant. Yeah, assistant is what I said.
But
I would pay to see that.
I guess my overall thing on it, is it sketchy? Yes. But I think it's more of an overreaction in terms of some of the conspiracy surrounding it. Maybe one day we'll actually find out the mystery of Bohemian Grove and actually find out what really happens there. But
bro,
until then, mystery.
I'm so convinced that's where the freaking Pizzagate thing started now.
Dude, maybe you're onto something. Maybe all this shit with Epstein and stuff is like tied in.
I think it is. I think it is. It makes sense. Like the day that the Bohemian Grove got too hot, So then they moved it to Jeffrey Epstein's island. It only makes sense.
That's my thought too.
I
That's
mean,
interesting.
Jeffrey Epstein probably was never part of it since he was technically never an elite. But
He was
friends with the elitists.
Is what he was. Yeah.
He was the assistant to the assistant regional manager. He was the Dwight Schrute of politicians.
I will say I
That's
am
facts.
waiting for this whole Ghislaine Maxwell shit to happen too, because I really want to know who's involved with what. But low key, they've been releasing a lot of names. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can look it up. There's a lot of names of politicians and stuff in different areas that were involved that have come out. No one really like extra famous that we know. But a lot of people like.
That's what I'm saying though. Is like I feel like they're gonna do like the same thing where they're gonna like release enough names that you feel like you know, but then like all of the super powerful people, they'll never say anything. You
Like
know
the
what
Clintons and the Bushes.
I mean?
And all of
Like
them.
they
Yeah.
would never be, oh yeah, they're involved, but like no one knew, you know. But in reality,
That's kind of the whole thing with Bohemian Grove too, in a lot of ways. Like they say, like, oh, it's just this thing that we do. Like it's just a big group for the guys to hang out and drink. But like,
It's for the
I mean,
boys.
what if there's more to that? Like, what if they genuinely do have like real secret conversations? What if the rituals are really for Moloch, and they really go to this deity, and that's what they really believe, and they stick to that? And like, what if that's all really happening, and Alex Jones is right? Like,
I mean,
you
he's
know.
been right before.
Yeah.
You never know. I don't know. I feel like Bohemian Grove is just like a rich man's Burning Man.
Yeah,
Just
I think
a lot
that's
more
what-
classy.
Probably the equivalent.
Yeah, they got
I
they
was
got better
thinking,
drugs.
Like if you're really rich and people want to know all this information about you, and like there's paparazzi following you around everywhere, and everyone's like on your ass all the time. Like I feel like there's value in being somewhere far away that like people can't get into. Like even if it is just like a place where they can go party and like hang out, like the value in is that like you can't just like take a telelens and like see into like what they're doing. You know what I mean? Versus like a regular country club or like Mar-a-Lago or whatever the fuck, you know? So,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Just fucking sketchy, nonetheless.
it
But
is.
I think, Daniel, it's time for your story.
All right, before I get into my story, I gotta take a piss, dude.
All right. This is brought to you by water. Drink that
Oh,
shit.
you know what? You can actually throw an ad in there if you want to do a Micha
I
Libre.
got you. Hey, you want to hear my first ad read for the me? So we can do that. I can give you.
All right, and we're back. Yep.
All right, guys. So we're going to be going on to the next story. Before we go on to the next story, we do have another sponsor. So the sponsor is going to be Miche Libre. Miche Libre is a homegrown michelada mix brought to you straight out of Southeast Houston. They make all their mixes in-house, and depending on your order size, they deliver. It's super easy to order, and all you have to do is DM Miche_Libre. That's MICHE_LIBRE on Instagram or Twitter. Now, let me tell you, I have had this multiple times, and every time it's consistently delicious. With flavors including cucumber, mango, and dill pickle, the options spicy or regular. Pairing this mix with a Southern Star Echo and Conroe or Bombshell Blonde will blow your mind. So if you're a fan of micheladas, you have to give Miche Libre a try. Again, to place your order today, DM the team at Miche_Libre on Instagram and Facebook.
Boom.
Old. I want one. Please pass.
Damn, Kyle, you did that amazing to not have been reading it off the monitor.
Yeah, man.
Killed it.
I don't read out the monitor.
You killed it.
Definitely read that shit off the monitor. sorry, Miche Libre. We love you.
Okay, I have an educated question. Is it michelada or michelada? Like, do you pronounce the C or is it a sh sound?
It depends what region
Like-
you're in.
Cool, because I've heard it both ways, and I am terrified to order it at restaurants because I'm like, I don't know.
No, just it depends.
Let me say it. Let me get a big meat. Larry Hoover.
There you go. There you go.
Well, now I don't have to like ask. I can just DM
Yeah, no.
someone, and I don't have to say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
Exactly. Boom.
big brain.
Great brain. I was going to use a
Super
stupid
brain.
answer. You have educated questions. I have stupid answers.
Perfect.
Keeps it consistent.
Yes. All right. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, dude.
Oh
Your
God.
turn. Yeah, dude.
Dude, I am so nervous since my notes disappeared. But
No, you got this.
okay.
I believe in you, bro.
Thumbs up.
I believed in myself earlier, until I realized there was no notes. But all right, let's get in.
Notes are for nerds. You got this.
Hey, this is how I
That
used to
face.
pass tests in high school. Just winging it, cramming it all in, and hoping for the best. All right.
Love it.
So my conspiracy is also a secret organization that ties in a couple different things, like JFK's assassination, 9/11, an Apache chief skull, and some presidents.
Is it a bush?
Maybe. Maybe
Is that a
not.
burning bush?
I mean, there is a bush outside, but maybe. All right. So the secret society I chose very last minute, and by last minute I mean an hour before we started recording this podcast, is the Skull and Bones Society. The Skull and Bones Society is also known as the Order of 322, and the Brotherhood of Death. It is
Gotcha.
it is Yale's oldest secret society, and it was created in 1832 by Yale senior class members William Huntington Russell and Alfonso Taft, along with 12 other seniors at that time. Alfonso Taft is actually the father to late President William Taft, if y'all didn't figure that out.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. So, pretty much this society is only for Yale students. The entrance fee is actually $15,000, and the application fee is $15,000. Then every year it's like $15,000 on top of your tuition.
See, that's expensive
Who
for a
just
bunch
has,
of
like-
college students.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say like what college
But-
student? Well, I guess if they go to Yale.
But that's what I was gonna say. It's only for Yale students, and you can only get in if you are a family member of an elite family. So hence,
Fancy.
yeah. So you gotta have someone in power in politics, be part of a huge entrepreneur family, and so on and so forth. Pretty much, you gotta be only the elite, the most elite of elites get in that. It's pretty much a fraternity, to be honest.
That sounds like a fraternity. We actually had so fun, like I can say fun fact, and I'm so sorry to all my listeners who are just like, why does he keep fucking saying that? No,
You
it's
said it like 3 times, Kyle. It's fine.
so the fraternity I'm a part of also has a secret society that is I've really never heard anything more about it, known as the Regulators.
Okay.
So it makes me always
Oh.
wonder if they have a tie-in with that. So the Regulators existed during the 1800s. And
Oh.
they were there for like a little while.
Cool.
So
I was thinking of
maybe
Nate Dogg and Warren G. You know, they got that song Regulators.
no, other regulate.
Well, then.
But it's interesting because, like, I mean, like, it basically is the equivalent. It's just a little bit more secret.
Yeah.
Like when they say like the order, like it's not like, oh, like you get to wear your letters loud and proud. Like,
no.
no, you're not gonna tell people you're part of this, like unless they're other people, I'm sure, that are about it. That's my thought.
So fun fact about Yale is it's the third oldest university in the United States, and it was created because the elitists believed Harvard was becoming too modern, so they wanted to keep old traditions. That was in
Interesting.
1832.
You know.
Harvard, too modern.
I relate. Harvard is too commonplace for us.
Yeah, that's why,
For us,
that's when I went to
elites.
Texas State.
Hey, I bought a bidet attachment, so I feel like I should deserve a place in,
I
in
think
this
that means
cult.
you're part of the Skull and Crossbones now. Like, I think that makes you an elite family.
I think
Yeah.
I literally shitted my way in.
Nothing more pleasurable than water up your butt.
Okay,
think
don't, like,
Okay.
bidets are nice though, dude.
I've heard they're amazing.
Hey,
I really want one.
Tushy's not a sponsor, but if y'all could ever afford to get a Tushy, I highly recommend it. Like, it is the greatest thing in the world to wake up in
I
the
may
morning
take
and
I
squirt
may
your butt.
take it up on that. I may just go buy one.
Bro, honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing. It makes you feel super elite. Like,
I'm working on this whole like cleanse thing in general, so I'm trying to work on all natural soaps. Like I finally gave into the Dr. Squatch. I was telling Daniel earlier, I gave into Dr. Squatch like ads and bought some of that.
Yeah, I get those aggressive ads.
I love them. I think they're hilarious. I bought them.
So I bought them.
I bought them. But
This is why Google is winning, Kyle.
Yeah, they're reading all I want to say, and I just want the all natural soaps and shit. So try that. Maybe get a
naturals,
bidet.
huh?
Maybe be like extra clean. Then I can too be an elite.
Yeah. Tushy makes
And
you
not a
elite.
moment sooner.
We should start our own secret society for podcasters with tushies. Think about
The
it.
bidet society.
Yeah,
Bidet society.
the secret
I like
bidet, the secret bidet society. We'll wear brown robes.
Brown robes.
Yeah, we'll have a giant bidet in the center of a room. I don't know. We'll figure
Did
it
you say
out.
meringue? Like orange meringue? Like lemon meringue pie?
Voiced by Anderson Cooper, the bidet. It'll just be fine.
No, we need to get Morgan Freeman. Come on now.
Oh,
We gotta get fancy. We're elite. Remember, elite. Anyways, back into Skull and Bone Society. Each member that joins is given a code name. So, one of the most famous code names of all time was George W. Bush's. His code name was Temporary. Reason it's temporary is because he couldn't come up with the name, so he just put temporary in. That was supposed to be temporary, and it just stuck.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's a dumb little, bless his little heart. I love him.
So his name is Temporary, and when you're in the Skull and Bone Society, you once you're given a code name, like that's what they refer to you as, whatever your code name is.
That is legitimately the most like I just made it into the fraternity by like a little bit, and I couldn't think of a pledge name. They're just like you're temporary.
Can we talk about the fact that George W. Bush paid $15,000 to apply to be into a secret society, made it all the way to initiation, and came up to it, and they were like, "What is your name, brother?" And he was like, "Temporary."
Temporary. Yep. We'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit deeper right here.
Dad of his robe, just like
That says temp.
It should have been Jeb.
Dude, honestly, I couldn't find any information saying that Jeb made it. So.
Oh, poor Jeb. I bet he did it.
just because.
I doubt it too. He's like the awkward brother.
He was probably like volunteering on Saturdays when he was like, "Oh, sorry guys, I can't join your secret society."
Right. I go to the library and stack up books.
He's like actually going to the library. Like.
But yeah, so to normal society, Skull and Bones people members are known as bonesmen, like that's their I guess their name, bonesmen. To enter the Skull and Bones Society, you apply. They look at your status, and they depending on your status, they decide whether you make it or not. And the higher you are towards power, the higher your ranking is. So
interesting.
Yeah, so it's not an academic thing to enter that society. It's
So
more
you could be
of
failing all your classes, still getting a skull.
I think George W. Bush was failing all.
That's how George made it. Honestly, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. George was a C plus student. Was horrible at sports. So the only reason he made it was because his daddy was a politician at that time.
Wasn't he also a teak?
It's the American way.
Yeah, it's all about connections. Doesn't matter how good you are at a job as long as you know somebody.
Gotta know the right people.
Yeah,
He's doing all right.
Yeah, so
he's doing just fine. He has a painting empire, you guys. I'm not even kidding when I say George W. Bush is my favorite president, because it's just like he's so fucking dumb. I love.
He's like a lovable goof.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, if Bush was president nowadays, he'd be the most memeable president possible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was ahead of his time.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He came too soon.
Yep. Just a little too soon.
We'll see what Biden surprises us with in terms of memes. I'm sure
right. I mean, he's already super memeable. Like I have at least 10 memes locked and loaded, ready to go.
That fucking Melodin meme is the funniest fucking thing I've seen in such a long time. I don't know if you've seen that, Mia, the one where it's like you've heard the whole "you ain't black" thing, right? The whole like yeah, it's legitimately like a cartoon where he looks like Emperor Palpatine, and the girl's like being held by two of the officials, and she's like, "I'll never join you," she's a black girl, and he goes, "Then you ain't black," and he like puts his hand on her forehead and sucks the melanin out of her, and then she's all like laying there like white, like. I'll send it to you guys. You can see it. It's the fucking meme I've
Oh
seen
my God.
of like Biden in a very long time. It's one of my favorites.
That's fucking hilarious. All right. So in the Skull and Bone Society, they have two different places where they do like their rituals and inauguration. One of them is called Deer Island, which is still there. It was once like a really high end, pretty much country club. They had golf courses, they had tennis courses, and all that fun stuff. But they haven't really used it in the past like 50 years, so now it's just ruins. They still own it.
It's just not used.
It's just not used. But their building called the Tomb is located on the Yale campus. It's a 3-floor building with no windows. They have one door with 3 padlocks, and that door, whenever they open it and close it, they have to do the padlocks in a certain sequence. If not, an alarm goes off. To keep, yeah, they're super secretive. They have a courtyard that no one ever goes up to the courtyard, but apparently they like tricked some reporter back in, I think it was back in 2008, where they did like a fake ritual to kind of trick a reporter that got a little too curious about it. Mm-hmm. But they don't use the courtyard. Everything's done inside that building. They turn, when you walk into the building, this is also a book. I forgot what the name of the book was. But when you go into the building, one of the rules is you gotta lose your track. You gotta forget about time. Like so they purposely have no windows, so you can't tell whether it's nighttime or daytime. They turn all the clocks to 8 o'clock when you're in there, and they require you to give up anything you have that could tell you the time. So during their meetings and all that, they don't want you to know what time it is, because your time there is crap. I forgot what they said. I had it in my notes before they got deleted, but
probably the equivalent of like time isn't like your time within Skull and Bones is like precious in terms of like, that equivalent. It's like
they want you
what time it is outside. Like
no, they want you to lose yourself in the Skull and Bones Society. Like they,
Like a casino.
yeah, pretty much.
casino.
They probably pump oxygen in there too to keep you awake. But yeah. So it's a super secretive tomb. Apparently, when you walk in, the chandeliers and stuff, they're made out of skeletons. They have a bunch of like armor, medieval armor. They have skulls. They have skeletons, different figures of death all over the walls as decoration. They also have a coffin in the underground like dungeon. Yeah, they have like some sort of dungeon. And they have a coffin, and one of the rituals of initiation is you got to go in the coffin and come out of it. You got to go in there, stay for about an hour, and then you come out of it. And it's supposed to be that you're giving up your daily normal life and being reborn into a Skull and Bone member.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's like some Kyo shit.
Yeah, it's super fucking interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, the interesting thing is, this society is so full of elites. It's produced 3 presidents, numerous politicians, and super big baller entrepreneurs. The 3 presidents is obviously William Taft. He was a member. George H.W. Bush and his son George W. Bush.
That's wild.
Actually, there's been 9 Bushes in that society, and Jeb wasn't one of them. From the research I did.
Jeb.
Poor
I
Jeb,
just googled Jeb.
Poor Jeb. That's probably why he lost, man. That's probably why he lost any chance of being president.
Wait, did he go to UT Austin?
I think so.
That could have been why, because of the thing is you have to be from Yale.
Yeah, you have to be from Yale. That's one of the requirements to enter
So
the
if he
society.
went to UT, then that he wouldn't have been able to join Skull and Bones, officially at
I
least.
just think it's funny that his parents wouldn't shell out the money to buy him.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna go to UT.
But Jeb is so weird, man. He probably decided to go to UT. He wanted to be different.
Yeah. I mean, granted, like for most people, that's like, oh, that's a good elite school. But for the Bushes,
But come on now.
UT,
You gotta go to
you
UT.
want to go to Yale, Harvard, anywhere like that?
Yeah.
Nah, I want to go to UT.
But yeah, so one of the most notorious people in the Skull and Bone Society was actually Grandpa Bush. His name was Prescott Bush. He went to the school in 1917. That's when he attended Yale. He joined the Skull and Bone Society. And he's super, super notorious within the society because he gained them one of their most prized possessions, which is the skull of a Apache warrior. His name was Geronimo. You can actually look this up. They got sued over the heirs of Geronimo. Actually. Yeah, they sued the Skull and Bones Foundation because what Prescott Bush did was during one of their traditional crookings. They're called crookings. And what they do is the Skull and Bones Foundation organization, they get together and they decide to prank, vandalize, or steal from the rival organizations, the rival fraternities. And what they did was they went to some army fort outpost in Connecticut, and Prescott Bush decided to dig up the body of Geronimo, steal the body, like grave rob him, steal the body. And they scattered all the skeleton parts all around New Haven, Connecticut, but he kept the skull of Geronimo.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that is so many levels.
That's some potential haunted shit too. On top of that, you're also invading like an Indian burial ground. Like you wanna do that?
Yeah. So that
the bushes are cursed.
I don't think they're cursed, man. They've been doing pretty good for themselves.
I guess they have.
But yeah,
if they're cursed, I want to be cursed.
They're exactly. All fell on Jeb Bush.
Maybe Jeb Bush is the one that's paying for the Geronimo.
Paying for all the Geronimo stuff. Oh my god.
But yeah. So in 1919, they stole the skull, and that made him one of the most notorious members of all time. Because and to this day, they supposedly still have the skull in a glass case inside their secret building called the Tomb.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising because I'm going to be honest, from experiencing fraternity, and I know Mia can attest to that, and sorority life, secret societies within like college campuses.
Rob nobody.
But you do some stupid shit though, and the potential of one of your drunk brothers or sisters doing something really stupid and bringing something back as like a big treasure is very high, probability wise.
Yeah.
Like look what I brought back. What the fuck is that?
Dude, imagine that though. You're just chilling at like the frat house, and you see someone walk up with the freaking skull.
You're like, where did you get that?
That's not real, right? That's not real, right? He just walks back in his room. You're just like,
it's probably fine.
It's probably fine. I'm just not gonna ask about it. If I don't ask about it, then I don't know shit.
Yeah.
So,
dude,
we get arrested, then we know.
Right?
Otherwise, I'm leaving that alone.
I'd be freaking out, bro. I see a whole skull in someone's head.
Just walks into it, looks at you, and walks into his room.
Like,
right.
Not only has a skull, but is covered in dirt from like grave robbing.
Yeah, and you know he's like full of mud and stuff.
Like has a shovel and a skull. Like
just passes one of his brothers a watch. He's like, gotcha some.
Right. Meanwhile, Jeb's in the back, like just kind of like peeking in, trying to see what he can snitch out.
Can I come in?
I finished mowing the lawn in the middle of the night. Can I come in, guys?
Finished mowing the courtyard. Nobody uses.
I can picture him be like, guys, mom said you need to let me in the room.
Mom said you shouldn't be doing this.
I just imagine it as like just a bunch of goofs. It's just basically the equivalent to a bunch of fucking goofy dudes.
Yeah.
Like in it's extra secret society, but they're all fucking goobers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, come on now. They let George W. Bush in.
I thought. Gave him the name temporary.
He chose the name temporary. Yeah.
But the fact that happened is fucking hilarious.
Hey, but he got 2 terms, so he wasn't that temporary.
No. Yeah, it actually worked out in his favor. It's like...
Yeah. But yeah, so Prescott Bush was definitely he actually, after graduating from Yale, he became the senator of Connecticut and then governor, and then he did a lot of stuff in politics. Yeah. He supposedly tied to some, I forgot what it was. It was some crazy like demonic possession conspiracy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
May need to look into that one.
Yeah, I had it written down, but
if you find it, leave a link in the show
yeah,
notes.
I'm gonna need to find it, because apparently, like after graduating, he did all that, and somehow he got demonically possessed.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun read.
Probably because he dug up a friggin' skull.
That could probably be a piece of that.
Maybe it was just Geronimo trying to take over his body.
He's like, I'm just gonna be you from
Probably.
now on because you obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it crazy though that they apparently still have that skull because the lawsuit happened in 2018.
Native tribe. I did hear about this. The native tribe wanted to basically reclaim the remains so they could properly bury him.
Yeah, because they said his soul can't rest without being in a proper burial ground.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing. It's sad, but I mean,
Still a pretty cool story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty on par.
Yeah.
I feel like for
Yeah, and then I forgot to
That
mention
time.
that, but one of the initiation rituals is they actually drink a red drink out of a skull. Like when you get initiated into the skull and bones, what they do is they throw a bag over your head where you can't see out of it. They open the door, they drag you in, but the whole time they're like pushing you around and like kind of making sure you're disoriented and you can't tell where you're at. But they drag you in, they lock the doors, and they're like pushing you around, and that's when they throw you in that coffin. And tell you got to go in the coffin and sit in there so you can be reborn as a bonesman. And then once you come out of there, they keep pushing you around and moving you around through that tomb into different rooms. And they have like a ritualistic chant around you. And then they move you around, and they have a pool. There's like a huge pool in the dungeon room that's full of red water. And what they do is they submerge you in there. And then when they pull you out, they make you kneel before some statue of some Greek goddess, and they make you say some crazy like something in Latin. And then they pick you up again. They keep pushing you around, and then they make you kneel in front of this altar. And in the altar, there's a skull with a red drink in there, and they force you to drink it. Apparently, it's Kool-Aid. It's red Kool-Aid, but they try to psych you out.
yeah.
Yeah.
For the
Sounds like a jip, honestly, though.
yeah.
Like, I'm paying you $15,000 and you just get to put me around and like lock me in a coffin. Like, sounds like the lamest party ever.
It does. It really does. But I mean, you get power out of it apparently.
Powerful or whatever.
Eventually become a president. You know.
I mean, that's their sales pitch, right? You may become president.
I want to be president. You know how fast they age?
Yeah.
Never gonna be president now. Never gonna be president now. Never gonna be president.
Trump
now.
didn't really age.
He really
yeah.
didn't.
It's
But
because
I-
Mike Pence aged for him.
I think Trump just took all his stress out on the golf course and never aged.
Dude, I really hope Trump was good at golf for the amount of times that he did go out and golf.
I'm sure he's trash, dude. I'm pretty sure he gets sloshed on the golf course, drives that golf cart around in circles, and just sucks ass at golf.
Literally just Cartman.
Success.
He's just Cartman. That's basically what he does. He just acts like Cartman on the fucking golf course.
He's rolling around going, "You will respect my authority."
Respect my authority. I'm the president of the United States. I am the president of the United States of America. Well, at least for now.
At least for now. All right. So I like I said, I was doing a Skull and Bones secret society thing, but then the whole Bush family became a lot more interesting to me. So our next topic is George H.W. Bush.
H.W. Bush. We're going
H.W.
George
Bush.
Senior.
Yeah, the senior. Yeah, he was also a Skull and Bones member, 41st president, ex-CIA director, and Texas state representative. He fought in World War II as a naval aviator. After the war, he attended Yale and became a Skull and Bones member. Graduated, moved to West Texas, started his own oil company, which was highly successful. Then he ran for state rep and failed the first time. Second time, allegedly, he made a couple calls to some of the Bonesmen that were already in politics, and they helped push him into the state representative level. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. The I guess proof that connections and networking work.
I mean, he's one of the few presidents that have only served one term, for instance.
Yep.
So I mean, and I don't think from what I heard, he didn't do a bad job.
No. He got caught in some other stuff.
Yeah.
But okay, after that, when I think it was 2 years after he became state representative of Texas, our good old favorite president Richard Nixon appointed him director of the. Well, first he appointed him as the U.S. ambassador, and then in 1976, I think he appointed I mixed up the dates. But anyways,
Richard Nixon.
After that, he appointed him the director of the newly found CIA. Okay.
Cool. That's actually neat.
So he, fun fact is, George Bush became a CIA agent allegedly when he was a teenager, but then he left to go fight in war and went to Yale. When he came back after he became a highly successful oil man and state rep, his brother, Bonesman, Richard Nixon, also, Richard Nixon wasn't a Bonesman, but they were connected through someone else. And Richard Nixon appointed him the director of the CIA to kind of help him cover up some things. After Richard Nixon was impeached for the whole Watergate scandal, we had a couple different presidents, and then JFK came in, right? This time, George H.W. Bush was a seasoned veteran in the CIA, still the director. The whole Bay of Pigs incident happened where the U.S. handled it very poorly, and JFK was pretty much super pissed about it. At that point, he was planning on disbanding the CIA.
Fair enough, to be honest. I mean, you guys saw how that history books and saw how that went.
Yeah, so
really bad.
So after the whole Bay of Pigs incident in Cuba, JFK obviously had a sour taste for the CIA. Mm-hmm. And our director at the time had a tough call to make. Allegedly, the Bushes were the reason JFK was assassinated. George H.W. Bush, and the research I did, George H.W. Bush was actually the man that made the call to assassinate JFK on November 26th, 1963 in Dallas. He hired ex-Marine Lee Harvey Oswald, set it all up, and JFK got his head blown off. And after that,
I thought that Ted Cruz's dad killed him.
No, Ted Cruz is a killer himself, aka
he's a Zodiac killer.
The Zodiac killer.
Yeah. But yeah,
which, by the way, is still the funniest fucking thing that he tried to do the Zodiac killer meme when he was running for state representative or the governor, and they were just like, really, Ted, you really want to do that? How disrespectful! You know, people died during that when they were just making fun of him being the Zodiac killer the whole time. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah,
he got roasted so fucking hard for that shit. It was so funny.
Yeah. Fuck.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, allegedly, George H.W. Bush was in Dallas when JFK was killed. He was in a nail salon with his wife in the back room when he made the call. Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK, and then when George H.W. Bush was questioned about his whereabouts, he said he could not remember. Yeah.
You think he had something to do with Jack Ruby being the one to actually put the bullet in Lee Harvey Oswald?
I couldn't find, so obviously these are conspiracies. They haven't been proven or false or true. But
I'm sure they could pull that off too. They're like, oh, big mobster, he needs the money.
Yeah.
He needs that type of fame. That's what he wants. Like, he takes out, like, Lee Harvey Oswald, he lives the rest of his life comfortable, like in prison.
Yeah. But yeah, so apparently he was the one that made the call to kill JFK. Because his job and the whole CIA was threatened by JFK to be disbanded.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me, like, if politicians and, like, people in power in general, CSAs, you know, really high within like, the police force, CIA, things like that, FBI, have to do and make calls that, like, you know, normal people would be like, no, like, what the fuck, you're gonna do that? You can't do that. Like, that's gonna jeopardize everything. Like, you can't kill the president of the United States.
Yeah, like,
but what if they could? What if they could at any point, at any moment?
I mean, I'm sure they have.
That's why they chose to do it.
I'm sure the Abe Lincoln thing was planned as well.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
You know, a lot of people were just like, a lot of people think that's also a plan because it was right after the Civil War, correct? It was like, what, a year after the Civil War?
Yep.
whenever he got killed in the Fourth Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless.
Yeah. Okay. To wrap it up, George W. Bush was apparently also a Skull and Bones member. Not only was, well, fuck, let me rephrase this. Not only was he a Skull and Bones member, he barely made it into the Skull and Bones because he was a less than average student. Even though he paid the money and his parents paid the money for him to become a Skull and Bones member, they were very reluctant on adding him. The only thing that got him in was his dad's position in the CIA and previously a state representative.
Interesting.
Aw.
But he ran
That
with
sounds
it.
very on par for him.
Yeah, well,
Bush.
he ran with it. Apparently, he was a very likable guy at those times. Also, he was a ladies' man, so those Skull and Bones guys liked him.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Apparently, so I forgot what George H.W. Bush's code name was, but he apparently had some code name that had to do with him sleeping with the most women at that time. Yeah, he had a hit list. But yeah, so anyways, George W. Bush enters the Skull and Bones, a code name Temporary, because he couldn't figure out a good name for himself. Uses his connections to become the 43rd president of the United States. And the conspiracy with him and the Skull and Bones is that Larry Silverstein, I don't know if that rings a bell to y'all, he was the man that owned the Twin Towers before 9/11.
Oh, shit.
He was also a Skull and Bones member. And he was in a lot of debt with the World Trade Center and needed to get out of it. He collected, I think, $2 billion after 9/11 from the insurance. And the conspiracy is that obviously it was an inside job because Larry Silverstein was a Skull and Bones member and needed to get out of owning the Twin Towers.
That's wild.
crazy. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Neither have I. That's fucking wild.
So Alex Jones might be right that 9/11 was an inside job.
So like they have so much sketchy stuff with like New York real estate and stuff. Like I feel like half of it is like Russian mobsters and like the other half is like
The Italian
people who
mob.
do sketchy business practices.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so Larry Silverstein was a Skull and Bones member. Well, is a Skull and Bones member. And he collected $2 billion off of that incident in insurance.
That's wild.
Inside job?
That's crazy.
I don't know. I
For
think
$2 million.
there's too many discrepancies there that could have very likely made it an inside job. Also, the conspiracy on the Iraqi war is that Skull and Bones members wanted to take over the world, wanted to control the world's oil, and they entered the Iraqi war because Iraq is one of the largest producers of crude oil.
Shit.
Yeah. I'd heard that, but not like with a connection to like the secret society.
All
Which I
connected to the
feel
Skull
like-
and Bones. I'm convinced Skull and Bones is the real Illuminati.
I mean, you might be right. I've heard they've had ties.
Yeah.
Like in all seriousness, I've heard they have like ties from what I know. I don't know much about Skull and Bones, but like from what I've heard, like they think it's like tied together a little bit.
I'd
Yeah.
also like to take this opportunity that if anyone from the Illuminati is listening, I am interested in membership. So
Yeah.
let me know.
Send me an
I have no
application.
money or power.
I would like some. That would be nice. We'd like some power. Here.
Yeah, I have a podcast. Oh, that's what we have to give. We have a podcast, so we'll give away all the secrets and make y'all more
Yeah.
more trendy.
Yeah.
So if you're listening,
Haven't you ever wanted to be trending on Twitter?
Right?
and not for for good things, not bad things.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You have to clarify now.
Granted, if you see us, 3 episodes later and we're a little different, you mind your fucking business, okay?
Yeah. If you see that we all
Be
of a
cool
sudden
about it.
magically have a badass studio and we're all in the same room, don't be suspicious.
Mind your fucking business, okay? Thank you.
We're gonna start throwing subliminal signs in all our videos just to make people think we joined
Like
the
we're just like,
Illuminati. Yeah. We're just gonna have all of us like this.
okay, bye now. Nothing has changed.
Right?
Bye.
Signing off. Bye. Oh God, let's join the
We should-
Illuminati, guys.
That's
That's
Yeah,
that
what.
one's
title.
actually conclude this podcast. Ended with a bang.
Yeah, that's how we should end it.
I like it.
So yeah, we're all gonna join the Illuminati. One of us is gonna go to Yale. We're gonna roll some dice and figure out who's gonna do it.
Oof.
And we're gonna put all our piggy banks together, and hopefully we have enough to get into the Skull and Bone Society.
I'll let you guys know. I'll volunteer as tribute.
You volunteer?
Yeah, I'll volunteer as tribute.
You know, maybe since I'm the dumbest one in the group, maybe we'll have a better chance. If W could do it, why can't I? Think about
I
it.
mean, that should be on a sticker, first of all. I feel like that should be somewhere as a motivational poster, maybe with a cat on it. But, yes, this happen. I am convinced it will be amazing.
When the merch line comes out, we'll create one of those posters. If W can do it, I can too with a
Oh.
cat.
We're throwing that shit on a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's dope. I love it. Mark it.
$18.99 in our merch store. Check it out. Doesn't exist. It's fine.
That'll be $6.66 to buy that sticker.
Ooh.
I
That's
don't
better.
know.
Do that.
We'll put it at 322 since the Skull and Bones number is 322. There we go.
Ooh,
Like it.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
W
Can
can
y'all
do it.
still
Why
hear me?
can't?
My connection says unstable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
we
still
can hear
good.
you.
You're still good.
Oh, cool. I was just being a dirty liar. I think the CIA is listening now, so
Oh, you're
Trying to cut you-
nervous now? You know
trying
what?
to cut you
they,
off.
they probably are listening, man. Like I
think
said, the only thing I would make this episode perfect is if we all start dropping out.
See that yellow bright like shining light?
Oh shit.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
is it?
You're being listened to. You know, there's supposedly some phone number you can dial on your phone and find out if you're on the CIA watch list.
Fun fact. We may need to look that up.
One
I
fact.
don't know if it would hurt my feelings more if I was on it or if I wasn't on it. Like, I'd be like, you don't think I'm interesting enough to spy on? Like,
You know what?
you-
After the episode of the Weekly D that me, Kyle, and Derek recorded, I'd be shocked if I'm not on the list.
oh, you definitely are, for sure. That's not a question. Like, just the FBI being like, he said, what about cuties? Listen,
Oh my God. You know, that's how I'm gonna get canceled, guys. If we ever make it, they're gonna bring up that clip and take it completely out of context.
No,
Like,
that'll
I
be what
watch
you get
cuties for
canceled
research
in
purpose.
5 years. They'll just like hack it up and be like, I watched cuties and I loved it.
Loved it. Deep fake it.
Yeah.
Oh my
be
God, that'd be
good.
perfect.
Oh.
But yeah,
All right, guys.
that was all the conspiracies I got for today.
Well, good shit, man. Well,
All right.
that was fun. That was really
I'm
fun.
captivated. Yeah.
It was good to have this back. Like it feels like I'm Anita Beer is gonna have a really good like comeback. And I know Weekly D is going good. So if you like raunchy content and fun stuff, like listen to the Weekly D.
Oh yeah,
If you like
definitely
scary
should.
stories and stuff, listen
Oh, yeah.
to I'm Anita Beer podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, you guys want to plug your stuff real quick, I guess? At the end, we don't really have any ad reads left, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Mia, you want to go first?
No, you
No?
got it.
Oh God. Okay. No pressure. All right.
Sorry. Sorry to ruin your life, but
If you like what you heard or didn't, please go review us on iTunes. You can review the Weekly D Pod and I'm Gonna Need to Be Your podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, whatever. If you did like what you heard, give us a thumbs up or a 5-star review. If you didn't, still give us a 5-star review. Just talk shit to us on the reviews. You can.
everything counts.
Yeah, everything counts. Remember, you gotta put 5 words for it to count. So give us a 5-star review. Tell us we're the worst fucking podcast in the world. That's okay. That's 5 words. I hope. I didn't count them.
Nailed it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Fucking podcast.
thank you guys again for listening. I'm Danny G. You can follow me on all social media at Danny_G951, or you can follow my podcast, The Weekly D Pod, at The Weekly D Pod on all social medias.
And you can also follow me at It's That Guy Kyle on both Twitter and Instagram. You can also follow our podcast, I'm Anita Beer Podcast, at I'm Anita Beer Pod I believe on both Instagram and Twitter. If I'm wrong, we'll put it in the show notes. I'm still working to get back into the Instagram. Have not figured that out yet.
And I'm Mia, and you can follow me if you can find me.
I like
There
that.
you go.
I like
Not
that.
to be awkward, but
All right, everyone throw up the Rockefeller thing and say bye.
All right, 1, 2,
Bye.
3.
All right, this was the Weekly D and I'm gonna Need a Beer podcast collaboration. Friday the 13th episode, dropping this Friday the 13th, which is the day we're recording it, but not really. Be on the lookout for all new things, and I'm gonna Need a Beer podcast is gonna make a comeback starting in January. Thank you guys.
Peace, motherfuckers.
Peace.
All right.